Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Dave.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast. Episode number 99. We are at 99 weeks in a row, by the way. No, we have not skipped an episode.
We have not
played back a classic episode or anything like that. So, episode
we reserve the right,
week.
but
we do. And there have been a few times I think both of us have thought about the other going, what if I just say that, let's just put a classic, let's just do an old school episode or something. Let's not do one this week. But nope, we have persevered.
Yes.
We're good. Things are good. It has been a busy week. Spring break. I was at the parks all week. You were not at the parks all week because you're building a house. And so, you're doing other things besides
doing house meetings.
So, Jen, how'd you do Disney this week?
Oh, well, my Disney this week is definitely not as exciting as your Disney this week. But I did Disney by sorting through, I had mentioned this a while ago, but some of the Disney teapots that were at Brady's parents' house. So it was just a little bit more sorting and started selecting in my head which ones are going to be displayed first. I'm just putting that out there. The Cinderella is definitely, it looks like the carriage, like the pumpkin carriage, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So, that is probably going up right away.
That's awesome. I think that's cool. I think it's really great. So, are you finding things in there that just are blowing you away? Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we have this. This is amazing. Just,
there are a few things. So, they were big like Disney collectors, literally. Like, there were just some really, really neat things in the basement that we found. One thing that we found was an entire Christmas village. It was from like the mid 90s.
That's amazing.
It was it was like, I never even saw it advertised. I don't know where it came from, but it was like super detailed, all Disney. Like, there were like just a ton of boxes, and it had never been opened. It had never been displayed. Like, they purchased it and just never set it up.
That is amazing.
That one blew our minds. We were like, whoa. Like, everyone's like, what is that? It was like in the corner, like tucked somewhere.
You need to go to eBay and type some of those things in, not to sell them, but just to see what they're going
just
for.
To see what they're going for.
See what people are paying for them or whatever. I think that's really cool. I would love that. This sounds like a collection that's taking you like weeks to go through because you have all this time in the world.
Right. Well, but we also had gone through whenever they cleaned out a room before, like, this is back when they were both still alive, and Brady found his Epcot map from opening year from 1982.
That is awesome.
Original.
Frame that.
Oh, we have it like ready. We are going to frame it for our new house. It is vintage, absolutely perfect. Like, and the condition is fantastic. It only was displayed in his room. Like, you can see pinholes in four corners because he pinned it up on the wall.
Right.
But that's aside from that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a cool find. Yeah,
it's really cool. Somebody sent me a Six Flags map from the 90s, so that's kind of cool. I'll have to kind of frame that and get that.
Yeah, you should frame that. That's a collector's item.
Look, there's Lick Skillet and there's Georgia Pines and whatever. And I don't know. There is an area of Six Flags over Georgia called Lick Skillet. I think there's a coaster there. I'm not that familiar with Six Flags. I've been there many times, but I don't know the land. It's weird because if you go to, say, and I'm assuming SeaWorld has different lands or different areas. If you go to Universal, I couldn't tell you what's on what street and what's on. If you're on, if you're over in New York, do this, blah, blah, blah.
Like, I know how to get where I'm going, though.
Exactly. But I don't know the different areas. But, if we're in Magic Kingdom, I'm like, oh, over in Frontierland, I know exactly where to go. Oh, Tomorrowland? Yes. Stroller Circus? Sure.
Do that to some level at Universal because it's in like Diagon Alley. Like, it's in superhero.
Right.
Or,
But do you know what area or what land, neighborhood, whatever, Rip Ride Rocket is in?
See, that one to me is nebulous because it's like up toward the front of the park, and is it like really a land? You know what I mean?
You know what area of the park Men in Black is located in?
See, I consider that the same thing.
Over there around the lake. And
I know, like the Simpsons, like
exactly.
Like certain ones, but the other ones I'm like, I just know how to get there.
And that's why I'm wondering how long it's going to take for people to glom onto this neighborhood thing that Epcot's trying to do with the World Showcase and the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And whatever, and celebrate. That's
That's going to be hard for us.
Because I honestly, I have given Hollywood Studios, not MGM. I'm very steadfast on that. It's been 15 years. You've had time. Disney Springs, I give some leeway to Downtown Disney, but it's Disney Springs.
Because Downtown Disney is Disneyland,
right.
though.
Exactly.
So to be fair,
exactly. I'm going to have a real hard time Future World giving Future World up. I know. I'm going to have a real hard time. And honestly, sitting here without a map,
I don't know
I can't tell you what the neighborhoods are now. I can't.
Journey of Water?
Journey of Water? But that's not a neighborhood. That's an attraction.
No, that's an attraction.
A neighborhood of like
something.
The wetlands? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't think it's called the wetlands.
The moist neighborhood? I don't know. I have no clue. So
oh my God.
That came out sounding a lot worse
that
than it
really
was in my head.
No.
So I Disneyed by getting back from Disney yesterday, which, by the way, do not recommend. 0 out of 10 coming back from Disney World. No. Laundry piled up everywhere. Just stay there. Just do it. Just do it. So I'm not going to go through a day by day rundown, but I do want to mention a couple of things. We stayed at Port Orleans Riverside. It was myself, my wife Stephanie, and our son 10, who is on the spectrum, which we've mentioned to people who people who follow the show know that, and that'll come into play as we're talking about a few things. And my mother-in-law, who comes with us on many trips, and my kid loves his Gigi. He loves her, and he wants to ride rides with her. Even when she got to the point where she was like, I would like to ride a ride with my daughter and not my grandson. He wasn't having it. He's riding with Gigi, and it was kind of
he's good.
You had to figure out, do we have the screaming meltdown because he's not riding with Gigi, or do we just go with it? And we just kind of went with it. So he rode a lot of rides with Gigi, unless she wasn't there. Like Mine Train, there was the second time we rode it, she didn't want to ride, and so I'm like, well, that's fine. You need to leave, because if you're here at the opening at the beginning, and you're here and you walk away, he's gonna be like, why are you not riding me? Where are you going? So so you got to ride it with me. Poor Stephanie was kind of regulated to the third place, because when Gigi wasn't there, he wanted to ride with Daddy. But when he did get upset, he wanted mommy, which is what happens to all of us. When we get really mad or upset about something, give me my mommy, hold my hand, please give me squeezes and hugs, because that's the core central of all of us, really. And that was him. He's just very vocal about it. He's like, mommy, hand out squeezes. Mommy would be like, you need squeezes? Yes. And so she would hug on him and everything until he felt better. So my only real complaint about this trip, before I even talk about it, really is, and Josh, you got to get on this, man. You really do. This is a big deal. Tell Zach, tell whoever you need to talk to. Talk to Jeff or whatever. You've got to get Wi-Fi fixed in the park, because we are asking 55,000 guests in the Magic Kingdom to all use a service that relies on a phone app that requires them to be in their phone to look for stuff. I get it. When you have that many people in one concentrated area, the Wi-Fi is going to be a little flaky. I get that. But I feel like there's no reason that the Wi-Fi should work in the basement of Soarin' when we're in the queue, and then not work when we're in the outdoor open queue of Barnstormer.
I really feel like that's strange.
Or when we were walking the bridge from the hub to Tomorrowland at the park opening, the Wi-Fi doesn't work anywhere on that bridge. No. 2 days in a row it didn't work on that bridge. And it's just so random. And I'm like, this is a company. Why don't they have modems on like every single one? And I don't know enough about phone signals to say, well, this is why and that's why or whatever. But I feel like if your phone is set to look for network and you have a Tomorrowland network and Tomorrowland Wi-Fi and Fantasyland Wi-Fi, it'll connect from one to the other. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. I feel like we got to get that fixed. And I say that because my kid, we rely on devices, iPads and iPhones for my child, to really, in between rides and attractions, to kind of give him something to do. Yeah. He has that. He's actually watching. We're in the line for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. He's watching Mine Train on YouTube while we're in the line for the ride. So he's totally immersed in it. But when the Wi-Fi goes out, he doesn't understand Wi-Fi not working. He doesn't understand what we're going to go. And there was one time, I think it was 2 days ago, we were in the Magic Kingdom, and I stood in one place in the hub waiting on Stephanie and her mom to get Dole Whip. I stood in one place in the hub for 45 minutes because the Wi-Fi worked right there. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm not moving.
He's good.
He was happy. He was good. He was great. I was enjoying ice cream, whatever. Lime swirl. It was called a blue feather, I believe, from Aloha Isle.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Swirl. Very good, by the way. Very good. That little feather piece of chocolate is really good, too. But that's my one thing is Wi-Fi. We stayed at Port Orleans Riverside. Riverside was fantastic. Love Riverside. It's a rather large resort. I'm looking on a map. Like if you're in building 14,
it is big.
Yeah, if you're in building 14, you're in great shape because that's where we were. Building 14 is right close to the front. We actually reserved ourselves a garden room, but they upgraded us to preferred, which was amazing. Literally, I was about 22 seconds walk from my door to the main building where the food court was. It was right there. It was so great.
That's
Love
awesome.
that. If you're in building like 95, then you got a
Maybe
walk
not
ahead
so
of you.
much.
If you're in building 34, you got one heck of a walk ahead of you.
Yeah.
It was perfect. And we talked to the pre-show about the rooms. I was going to show you on the podcast or tell you on the podcast. And they renovated Port Orleans recently. So you got the hard floors. You got 2 beds with 6 or 8 inches above the ground. So you got plenty of room for your suitcases and stuff underneath. You got the 5th sleeper. So Jen, you may know this. Do all the rooms now have the 5th sleeper at Port Orleans? Has that been fixed? Not all. Okay.
No, not all. Preferred rooms have the 5th sleeper. And then obviously if it says it has a 5th sleeper, then it has a 5th sleeper. But
so there are some that don't. Okay.
There are still some that only sleep 4.
Okay. It was comfortable. It was a pull down bed right there near the TV. You just pulled it down. You had the bed right there. We actually didn't use that. We actually just used that platform, or it was a bench otherwise. We used it to just put our suitcases on. The only complaints I had about the room were, number one, and this is with all moderates and whatever, I really wish there was some sort of more solid, like a sliding door or something, rather than a curtain.
Rather than the curtain in the bathroom.
It's a dark curtain, so you can't see silhouettes of anybody, and that's fine, but it's just a curtain. Secondly, I know they renovated it, put outlets in there, which is great. There are USB ports, which is great. They're by the bed, and they're over there by the TV. There's a table with some chairs, and there's no plugs or ports by the table at all. Nothing. Also, if you're not sleeping beside the nightstand to use those ports, then you don't have if your phone needs to charge, then it's going to be across the room.
It's going to be across the room.
People, it's fine, because on the other side of the beds, there's nothing. There's no plug on the wall. There's nothing to plug into at all. There 4 people with a big stroller. It was very spacious, very roomy. So that was great for us as well. But yeah, not having those plugs was kind of annoying. But that's going to be all the standard.
I was going to say the other thing though is I used to. Well, even some of the villas, like early on, they didn't have as many plugs because we weren't quite as dependent on mobile devices back in like the early 2000s as we are now. I used to pack though, once before they'd done a lot of the renovations at the deluxes, power strips and like plug extenders.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just in case, because you need more outlets.
Well, the thing was, we had enough plugs. They were just in very inconvenient
spots. So, but if you want it in the convenient spot, it's like, yeah.
Well, another thing to remember too, and a lot of Apple devices, I know iPads have this, they have the larger brick charger. Like it's not just the small, the larger one when you plug it in. And when you plug it in Port Orleans, for example, you can't plug in next to it. There's nothing next to it because it takes up space.
Right.
So there were 2 plugs we could not use because we had 2 bricks for iPads plugged into those things. There was nowhere else to plug them, honestly. And this is where surge pressure would help, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I didn't bring one this time because I knew it was a renovated room, not anticipating not having plugs. I mean, minor things, honestly. We got things plugged in.
Right, it's fine.
USB, I mean, like on the H1, we had like USB cords running everywhere and things plugged in, and his phones and iPads and chargers, whatever. It's great. Definitely make sure, guys, that you bring a couple of chargers for yourself. This is an autism tip, especially for iPads and iPhones. Bring a charger. Bring 2 chargers if you need to. Fuel rods are great. They will charge your phone probably 70 to 80%, and you can swap them out if you need to.
Yep.
But if you try to charge something like an iPad, you need something a little heavier. Yeah. Bring a couple of chargers. Bring some bricks. Snacks were fantastic. I made it a point to snack a lot this week because there are lots of snacks I wanted to make sure that I tried. Some of the highlights were the orange vanilla shake over at Hollywood Scoops in Hollywood Studios. It is an orange, almost like a creamsicle shake with a big orange donut on the top with whipped cream.
You sent me a picture of that.
I did. And actually, Kyla responded to that and with that Wilford Brimley gif that says diabetes intensifies. Exactly. I mean, it was like,
like sugar.
And it's got some orange garnish around the lid and everything. So number one, the orange donut tastes exactly like you think an orange donut would taste.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if you think in your mind, I think an orange donut would taste like this. You're right. You're exactly right. That's exactly what it tastes like. The garnish around the top was not good. It was very it was candy-ish, like sticky candy. It wasn't very good. The shake itself was very good, but it was really sweet. I finished half of it, and I'm like, I can't finish this. I'm out. The Cheshire Cattail.
Split it with
well, Stephanie didn't want it. She was like, I don't want it. I mean, I lost 60 pounds. I don't want that. So she was, because she knew going into this, and this is honestly the reason that we lose weight. We were on a diet for a whole year, is to be able to do things like this.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest with you. I gained 4 pounds on this trip, but I'm going to lose it in the next 3 weeks. So I'm okay with it.
It'll be fine.
And I had a lot of food, and it was awesome. A lot of food. So, lots. So the other thing, she didn't want any of it. She's like, I think she tried a sip of it. She's like, oh, it's good. You want it? No, I don't. Get away from me.
Yeah.
So she's saving her calories for stuff that she knew that she wanted.
Absolutely.
I had another Cheshire Cat tail over the Cheshire Cat Cafe, which is really
those
super
are good. Those
like
are good.
long cinnamon sticks with like chocolate and drizzle on them. The glimmer, anything marked glimmer and shimmer, be a little wary of, because really it's whatever product they're saying it is. It's just that with some icing on it, or maybe a few sprinkles,
or like the iridescent sprinkles. That's like the
exactly.
Same thing.
Yeah, I had the glimmer and shimmer churro for like $1.50 more than a regular churro, and really I was like, oh, it's just got some blue icing on it and some sprinkles, and that's really the main difference. And it really
it wasn't that much better, I'm sure. If it wasn't even better, so
it wasn't that much better. The midget julep lemonade we had over at Casey's Corner, which Jen, it was almost like bougie and redneck. I had my corn dog nuggets and I had my mint julep lemonade, and I was really like, this is our podcast personified right here. Jen drinking her mint julep lemonade with a sprig of mint on top and a little cherry, and I'm over here with my mustard and my ketchup mixture, dipping my corn dog nuggets in with my fingers. Just it was so good. It was so good. Steph and I were talking about lunch, and she was like, well, I think we're going to go to Liberty Tree Tavern. They have corn dogs. My mom and I can split one, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, can I go get me some nugs? And she's like, what? I'm like, corn dog nuggets. I haven't had any forever. Can I go get some? That's fine. Just... I promise I will take him to Splash Mountain after we're done. He and I will go to Splash Mountain. You guys can do something. We'll go do. That's fine. Go. So I did. I went and got me some nuggets, and they were so good. They were so good. A couple more I'll mention here. The Dole Whip Flight, which I was super excited about over at Disney Springs. Basically, it's 3 kinds of Dole Whip. You got your traditional swirl. You also had a tasty lemon and cookie dough swirl, which was delicious. It was so good. Also very sweet, but it comes in a very small thing, so it wasn't as if like I couldn't finish it. And then they had the cayenne pepper swirl, which is really interesting because it had a little bit of habanero sauce on it, a little habanero sauce, but like pepper on it. Okay. It was interesting. I'm not a spice guy, so I had a little bit of it. The ice cream had some heat on it. And I'm like, I'm tasting cold heat ice cream. It's just weird. Stephanie liked it. She thought it was really good, and she's fine with spice. She's not the wuss I am, but she was like, this is pretty good. This is fine. I'm like, I'm good. Unfortunately, we had it like late at night, and I really want to go back and get another one of these things so I can really, really absorb it and take better pictures because the pictures I have are all dark. Finally, the last thing I want to mention too, and this is not indicative of the good. I mean, all the good snacks I had, because there was 1 or 2 that I had that were fantastic. That I'm not thinking about, but the Glimmer and Shimmer Pineapple Mousse. This one I will say is super good.
That picture was great.
This is over at Hollywood Studios. It's in Starbucks. The Glimmer and Shimmer Hollywood. It comes like a pine cone shaped mousse. It's got a small caramel sponge cake in the middle. It's atop a coconut crisp cookie. Got a little chocolate 50th medallion right there on it. It's about $6. It's super good. It's good enough to share. It's big enough to share with another person. Okay. So the cookie crisp was really good. That medallion was good. It was just all around. It was delicious. And I've got more pictures going up on The Magic on a Dollar on Instagram. I'll be posting those in the next few weeks. It's funny because, and Jen, you don't post a ton when you're on trips because you're living your life. But
no, I do it in the stories though. Because
that's true.
I do a lot in the stories, and I just only post so it doesn't blow up people's feeds.
Yeah, you do stories and stuff. But the main thing basically is that I have a hard time controlling how many times I post. I want to post everything. I'm like, I had this, and then an hour later, I had that.
That's why I do a story.
I'm like, let me just save this out, and stretch this out a little bit over the next few weeks. And so, one story I did want to mention though, and this is rather entertaining. We get a stroller, and I'm going to call them out, Orlando Medical Rentals. Great service. Product is questionable, and we'll get to that. They're not a sponsor, so I want to be honest with our people. So we get a stroller with them. It's basically a special needs stroller, and unfortunately, not a lot of places have special needs strollers. They're expensive. They're larger strollers. This is a very long, like Hoss kind of stroller, because my kid is like up to my shoulders, and he fits comfortably in the stroller. And we get it because it's easier for him to sit in the stroller playing his iPad versus him just running around, and the way he's growing as a 10-year-old there's really not many more times we're going to be able to use this kind of a stroller, because eventually he'll just be too tall for it, and we'll have to decide, do we get a wheelchair for him or what do we do? So Orlando Medical Stroller Rentals is where we got it. We wanted Kingdom strollers, but they only have 2 or 3 in their stock, and they're sold out. They're already sold out for December, which my family's talking about doing a December trip. They're already sold out, completely rented. So we got it, and I will tell you the stroller was not in great shape. It served our purpose, but there was a few things that was kind of on it. It's fine. One thing that was a problem was it didn't collapse all the way. Now, we have a tag that goes on our stroller. It's a red wheelchair tag. We can use it as a wheelchair if we want to. So we have access to the lines as a wheelchair, to the wheelchair line. And we can take the stroller into the queue for things as long as I have the red tag on there. Another thing it lets us do, if we choose to, is it lets us load on a bus as a wheelchair or a scooter. You know, if you've ever been to Disney World and you hear that ramp going out, beep, 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 that ramp and everything loads, scooter goes up or the wheelchair goes up and they lock it down and everything. We have the option to do that with our stroller. We very seldom do it, especially in the mornings because people are vying for seats on the bus.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, this is just a convenience for us, and I don't want to do it unless we just really have to. Maybe late in the night, the kid's grumpy, he's asleep, we'll do it then, but otherwise we don't. So on Sunday, we were at Hollywood Studios, and the rain was coming in. We knew it was coming in. And we were like, well, okay, you know, this is we got to get some stuff in. We got a lot of stuff done, you know, and everything. And we were going to ride Rise the Resistance the day before, and Rise broke down halfway on it. We were evacuated off of Rise. We had to go the long through tunnels and stuff. My mother-in-law really wanted to ride it, and so because she couldn't remember the ride last time and whatever. So the next day, here we are in Hollywood Studios again, and it's raining, and I'm about to rain, so we're going over to Starbucks actually to get some snacks or whatever. And as I lift up the stroller, the handle breaks, just breaks, clean break, boom. If you've ever tried to push a stroller with no handle or working handle, it's really hard. We had to like rig it somehow where the handle was kind of like propped up so I could use the stroller. So we called them and we said, "Hey, OMR, we have a problem here. We have a stroller that's broken. We need to fix this stroller." And so they were like, "Absolutely, we'll have another one brought out to you." Now they're not allowed to come to the parks. I can't tell you why. I don't know if they don't want to pay for it, whatever. They should. I can't tell you the logistics though. I don't know why. So they're not allowed to come to the parks.
That might be a Disney thing though. Like who knows?
It is possible. I don't want to blame them for this. This is not on them. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But so we're like, well, let's meet at a resort, a nearby resort. And so Stephanie's like, well, let's go to the Dolphin. We'll go to the Dolphin because you'll get the boat, go right on over there, get right on off. And I'm like, maybe go to the boardwalk because I can get to Epcot maybe quicker and I can just walk over. And she's like, no, go to the Dolphin because it's one of the first. Okay, that's fine. From Hollywood, that's all cool. So the rain starts. So Stephanie and Campbell and the mother-in-law, they're like, well, we're going to go ride Rise. And I have said, you know, I'll go get the stroller. I'm the good husband. I'm the good dad. I'm going to get the stroller. Got my poncho on, got it on my head and everything, and I'm pushing the stroller. It's starting to sprinkle, and the rain's coming harder and harder and harder. So I'm walking towards the boat, and I hear the boat announce, this is a reminder, passengers. We have suspended boat service at this time due to inclement weather. If you are looking to go to a resort, please use the available bus depot and the bus stops to get to your resort. Thank you. Now, I have a feeling they said that just for me because I'm the only one walking to this boat. This boat's sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I'm in luck. The boat's there. Walking towards it, I get the announcement. I'm like, ugh. So I turn around, and in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'll just get the Skyliner. Not thinking, well, if the boats are down, then they're not going to do the Skyliner. Down. So I walk around the Skyliner. I'm like, oh, it's not running either. And the Skyliner's just kind of hanging there. I don't know if they got everybody off in time or if they're just there. People are just hanging in the Skyliner.
No, they would have to get the people. So, I mean, I think they would have to get people off.
So I'm sure they probably started doing this an hour ago. I don't know.
Whenever they see the inclement weather.
I'm like, okay, well, I got to take the bus to the Dolphin, Swan Dolphin. It's raining, and it is beginning to really, really come down, okay? It's pouring down rain. Now, a series of things begin to happen, one after the other here. That was almost like I look back, and it's a comedy of wet errors at this point. Looking back, if I could go back to my 3-day ago self, I would say 3-day ago self, have them meet you at Port Orleans, and just go back to your resort. Just go back to Port Orleans and just do that. Perfect. Let's just do that. No. So I get to the bus stop, and the rain is beginning to come in sideways. I'm standing there, and I've got my hand covering my phone, just like basically over my phone, because basically it's like somebody has a hose and just spraying down from the back of my head to the back of my feet, just spray. Water's coming sideways. The stroller has a puddle in it. The stuff that's under it, I'm like kind of putting jackets around it to try to keep it. My jacket's already soaked down there. Everything's just rain. People are freaking out. The bus stop is full of people trying to get away. We're just standing, and I'm just standing there like, what am I gonna do? Just here I am. This is where I am. I'm at Hollywood Studios bus stop, getting drenched. I'm just drenched head to toe. So the bus pulls up. People are just piling as quick as they can. For whatever reason, the bus driver closes the back door. So there are people standing there banging on the windows like they're trying to get off the Titanic, like that scene where he's banging on the fence. He's like, let us out. We're going to drown down here. That's this woman. Let me in. Let me in. She's banging on the window. Let me in. And I'm standing here with a stroller that will not collapse, broken handle, soaked. And so I told the bus driver, I said, okay, here's the deal. I said, I can't get on. I can't collapse this stroller. I said, you're going to have to let me in the back. I'm going to have to wheel it up, going to half collapse it and pull it in. I said, that's the only way I'm going to get this thing on here. I said, I've got the red tag on it. So membership has its privileges.
That's right.
Very few privileges to disabilities and autism. This is one of them.
That is one of them.
I'm using this. I'm using it. So he opens up the back and I pull it in and everything. And we're just, everybody's, no masks in the bus. Nobody has a mask on at all. So we're just all water's dripping everywhere. Everybody's dripping. So they drop us off. And honestly, I'm not sure which one I'm at, the Swan or the Dolphin. I'm not even sure.
Doesn't even matter that much.
I'm like, I think I have to go to the Dolphin. I'm texting Stephanie. Which one? Swan or Dolphin? She's on rides at this point, so she didn't get my text. And I'm looking around going, okay, that's a Swan. I must be at the Swan. So I still have to cross it was the Dolphin, by the way. So I still had to cross that whole courtyard. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, there's a covered walkway there. That's okay. I'll get into that. Water is poured in through the walkway.
Oh.
The walkway is covered. So
I was just thinking, like, there's a covered walkway though.
Yeah. Even if you get through the walkway, you're stomping through the water. The fountain that's there, the wind is blowing the water everywhere. So if you're thinking about one of those like those yard things with the wet willies where the water's just sprayed all over the place, that's what's happening. Water's shooting everywhere. There is no escape from this water because I have to cross this path to get to the Dolphin. Then I have to go up the stairs, out the lobby, and find the guy. And the guy's been there for like 20 minutes. And I told Steph, I was like, text him and tell him to wait on me. Trust me, this is his fault that I'm doing this. Tell him to wait on me. So I get there, talk to the guy. OMR, the staff, nice as could be. The guy was so apologetic.
I've talked to the manager before.
So sorry.
She's
and the manager too. And the manager talked to Stephanie and said, I'm so sorry about this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm not blaming you. I said, you're the delivery guy. I said, you've been super nice. You were the guy that dropped it off, everything. And I showed him all the things. He was like, man, we're going to have to get rid of the stroller. I was like, yeah, you are.
Yeah,
so
you
I
do.
got the new one. And they didn't have the one our size, so they got a bigger one. So we have now a 20-inch wide stroller. It's like a freaking hall. And really, two small kids can fit in it. Campbell's got room to sit in it with stuff. He could put like his bag of stuff beside him. So the guy leaves, and I'm sitting there with the stroller, and it's still raining. I'm like, well, now I have a new stroller that I don't want to get wet. And I'm at the freaking Dolphin. I have to get back to either A, Hollywood Studios or Port Orleans. And I don't know how to do this because I have to go to a bus stop somewhere to go to a park bus stop to get to Port Orleans. I'm like, this is bad. So Stephanie, in her infinite wisdom, has purchased a rain cover for a stroller.
Yes.
That would have fit a previous size stroller, but not this one. It's too small. I try to attach it, and the cover is just flapping up everywhere. And so I'm like, I pull all the stuff out of the bottom. It's not wet right now. And I shove it into a ball, and I put the cover around it.
There you go. Okay.
Try to protect it. And so the rain has kind of pilfered out. It's kind of stopped. I'm looking at my radar going, okay, it's going to rain again in about 20 minutes. I see it coming. There's the radar. We're a little window because people are like, yay, the rain's gone. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not.
Like, it's coming right now.
It's coming right now, but not in a minute. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to walk to Hollywood Studios. I hate walking to Hollywood Studios from the Dolphin.
But you're going to have to.
But I'm going to have to. I got no choice. I'm going to have to walk. So I stomp on my way. I start walking past Portal, and I see a boat there. And I'm like, what if the boats are running? And I saw a boat running. And I'm like, the boats are running. Yes. This is great. To get to the boardwalk, however, that pathway, it's covered in water.
Covered in water.
So basically, there was a point where I was walking through. I got on a curb, so I was able to use the stroller as a crutch walking through the water over a curb. But at one point, both my feet were completely immersed in water as I was walking through. Get to the boat. The boat's running. I'm like, yes, praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Get on the boat. And remember, this is a new stroller. I don't have the red tag. So they're trying to get me to collapse the stroller. And I'm talking to the guy, and I'm like, I can't collapse this stroller. You're going to have to trust me on this. This is a wheelchair access stroller. Don't make me collapse this stroller, please. And he was like, all right, man, I get you. So he let me keep it on. So we get to Hollywood. As we approach Hollywood, we dock. The guy goes, if you're looking to go elsewhere behind Hollywood Studios, I am sorry. We are going to shut the boat service down again due to inclement weather. I'm like, I made it. So, of course, I go up the hill to meet the family, and they're there under a covering, and little Campbell's just like under his little coat, just kind of shivering a little bit in the rain. And she's like, oh, my gosh, we got so wet. I'm like, you got wet. Do I have a tale to tell you? And so we get to the bus stop, we get on and everything. And again, nobody's wearing masks and nobody even cares or whatever. So the good thing was we got back to the resort and we decided to stay there. We changed clothes. There is nothing better than putting on warm, clean socks after your feet have been wet and soaked for 2 hours.
That is true.
I mean, for 2 hours. And I don't mean voluntarily. Like you're at a water park and now you've changed clothes.
Oh, that's different.
But if you're at the rain, not that you would know, you don't go to water parks. But
no, I don't. I was a kid.
Exactly. So if you're in the rain or something, you're getting soaked, whatever. Taking those nasty socks off and just shaking them out, drying your feet off because they're all wrinkly and stuff, and putting those warm, clean socks on.
Mm-hmm.
That must be what heaven is like. I can just imagine as you're walking through the pearly gates, you step into a puddle and you're like, oh man. And
listen, there ain't no rain there.
And St. Peter's like, no, we're gonna make heaven even better for you. You get to put on warm socks as soon as you come in. The eternal grace just got even better. The good thing was we found a reservation at Boat Rights there at Port Orleans, and I have not been there. I've never been there, and I've heard many things about Boat Rights in the past where it wasn't very good. It had a bad reputation. Apparently, when they redid Port Orleans, they redid Boat Rights as well. New menu, new staff, new management, whatever. It was good. It was really good. I was very happy with my steak. I was very happy with my food. Price for Disney wasn't terrible. It was like, I think, total gratuity and everything was like $130 or something. So it wasn't.
That's not well for the four. Yeah, I mean that's.
They were great with allergies. The chef came out and talked to Stephanie about campus allergies, gluten, dairy, and soy. The three things you try to stay away from. Which, by the way, if you're listening and you're thinking about your own allergies, most things, especially French fries, are cooked with some sort of soy or soy base there at Disney. So you have to specifically ask for no soy. So don't assume if it says soy on it, if it doesn't say soy on it, there's no soy. Just FYI. Yeah. So that was my tale of wet woe at Hollywood Studios. Survived. Everything was good. The stroller was fine. It was a Haas. Like I said, it was big. We were good. OMR, again, service, great. Product, questionable. This isn't to be continued, though, because they said they were going to call me back. They're going to call us sometime this week to discuss and kind of help. What do I want? I have no idea. I would love just a simple – I mean, I'd love for them to refund my money for the trip. I don't know, but I don't know. So I will report back what they'll come back and say. I have no idea. I don't want to dog the company, but their strollers – that stroller was not good.
I will say that it was taken over by new management last summer. And one of the things when I spoke with her, because I had an issue with the clients, and it was actually a special needs stroller. And she said, she's like, I have to get into the warehouse and see, because like she had just taken it like 2 weeks ago. Like literally, it was like a brand new thing. And she was saying, she's like, I think that there's like things that have to be gotten rid of. And so I want to think, because the service has been good, that they're in the process of, I do think the new management eventually, but it's probably a catch-up process. I can only imagine how overwhelming it is to step in and have all of that. So their service though is good. And that's huge,
Yeah. Well, it's a big thing too. And I think, and I'm going to address Kingdom. Actually, I want to email them just to suggest that they get some more special needs strollers. And maybe they're already doing this, but this is for any company.
I would hope so.
Because having 2 or 3 per company, that only puts like less than a dozen across the parks. And that's definitely not enough because people really vitally use these. These are great strollers for kids that really need somewhere to sit and chill and relax and whatever. Yeah. I mean, maybe I wasn't necessarily like crazy about the design of this one, but at the same time, it was great having this stroller. Yeah. And I do want to do an episode. We talked about this kind of autism in the parks. I know we did the DAS Fest several weeks ago, but I do want to talk about autism in the parks. Maybe we get Christine to come on because she has autism in her family. I think that would be a great conversation. But
and I will say that whenever I've been in the parks with her and Gray before, and they've just rented, they've done the wheelchair. Like they'll do just the wheelchair, and we may end up doing that,
and that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it's because I pushed him the one time and I was popping wheelies for him, and
there was one time I was at the Magic Kingdom. We were in the Emporium looking at mugs. I was looking at mugs, and the kid was with his mom, and they were across doing something else. Like you could hear them and I could see them at my peripheral, but I was looking at mugs. There was a family right there to mom, and I heard my kid scream about something because he wanted something he wasn't getting, and probably was the Wi-Fi, whatever. And the woman made some sort of comment about kids screaming, like, oh, kids screaming. I mean, it was just very, very dismissive. It wasn't like, poor kid. It wasn't like, I really, or whatever. It was like, ugh, kid screaming. And I just kind of looked at it and I was like, yeah, that's my kid. I said, he's probably not getting what he wants. I said, it's unfortunate, but he screams like that. That's how he deals with it. And she kind of looks at me and she looks at her husband and she kind of looks back at her mugs. And I reach over to look at a mug and the husband was there. And I was like, excuse me, real quick to grab something. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. And he backs off, and he kind of looks at her and they kind of back away. And I didn't feel bad about that at all. I thought it was pretty spectacular. But as we kind of shift over to looking at the rest of the spring, now, Jen, you're not going back until I guess June is probably.
No, I'm actually going back at the end of May.
End of May. Okay.
Yeah, because my birthday trip is always. Yeah.
And then so you're going to go and then come back and then go again. Interesting. Nice.
I am
nice. Very nice. I suspect nothing less. But of course, birthday trip aside, one of the big things that's coming up is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. They finally released in what is probably the worst kept secret in the history of Disney.
Literally the worst kept secret.
Like, we were thinking by Memorial Day, but that weekend, May 27th is the opening day for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
It was only leaked by what, 2 or 3 different people? Like,
well, they tweeted it accidentally, and then it was deleted real quick, and it was like, oh no, just kidding.
People have screenshots. It lasts forever.
It lasts forever. So May 27th is the opening date, which is really exciting, and with that is going to come Annual Pass holder previews, which you are an AP holder, and I am not. You won't open back up Annual Passes, which is really, it's so maddening. Like, that was our Christmas present to each other, Steph and I. When they open back up, we're going to give Annual Passes to each other for Christmas. We get into the summer, and suddenly we don't have that money anymore, and we're like, dang it. So that money's spent. These are the problems of park goers. Any word on Annual Pass registration? Any word on that at all?
I've not heard anything.
Nothing.
No.
Okay. Okay. But of course, you will be going if you can, which might mean that you would go and then come back.
In fact, I checked right before. I was like, I just checked before to see if it's opened up. I do have it says keep your eye out for an invitation, but it hasn't popped open yet.
And I have an invitation too, even though I'm not an Annual Pass holder. Disney will send me the notification that the invite is coming to register.
Yeah.
They won't send me the registration. It's almost like they're like, ha ha, this is what APs are getting, not you. Thanks, Mickey. That was a terrible Mickey impersonation.
That was awful.
So, of course, it will come the cast member previews as well. My niece is a cast member down there, and she's so excited for this, which is really, really great. So, Jen, does this, and one question is, does this this is the first, I think, real milestone of Disney after COVID. This is the first big one because nothing big like this is open. This is something that was pre-COVID, would have been actually probably opened in 2020, maybe during COVID or 2021.
Yeah, because the last big attraction opening was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway,
right, which opened 3 weeks before COVID happened.
3 weeks before COVID,
exactly.
Well, I was actually at the media preview. Actually, it was only 2 weeks. I was there at the media preview right before the park shut down. So this is a pre-COVID. Well, they started it pre-COVID.
Right.
It should have it probably should have been done last year.
Yeah.
I think initially everyone was like, oh yeah,
Memorial Day. Yeah. Memorial Day, May 2021 would have been
probably what it would have been. But yeah, so at least we're getting to 2022. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm going to try to get an AP. I'm going to try to snag that.
Yes,
because we already have a trip, and we already have a trip planned.
Yes, we do. Everybody's got a plan. The agency, the group has a trip planned as we're going to go down to Universal and do some Harry Potter stuff and some Jurassic Park stuff, and then flip on over to Disney for a day or two at Epcot for the day of the Food and Wine, where we'll ride Guardians, hopefully. Virtual queue. I think they've already said a virtual queue is probably coming. I can't imagine it not being a virtual queue because people would be lying at Epcot at 3 a.m. to get in. It would be ridiculous. And so virtual queue, and of course the Genie Plus, I think access likely will be like $15.
I'm sure it'll be
we will all pay for that. I will pay $50 for that to ride it.
We will all pay for that.
Because unlike a lot of people, I can mark that stuff off on taxes. So
I'm 100%. I'm like, I will pay. I don't care.
Exactly. So we're going to do that. We will ride Guardians. Kyla will drink. Heather will be happy, and she will just skip all of it and go to quasi-producer Heather. We'll go to Magic Kingdom and be like, I don't care about Epcot. I'm Magic Kingdom. That's all I care about. But no, it's going to be a good time. So Guardians is reopening, which we're really, really excited about. But before that, and this is coming up, and I think there's a lot of meat to this bone here. On the 18th of April, character hugs are coming back. And I think we briefly referenced this maybe last week, but character hugs are coming back. They announced that the social distancing stuff is going away for the characters. They did not go into detail about this.
No.
So I cannot imagine that everybody will have a return to this. I think this will be the costume characters, the Mickey, the Minnie, the Pooh, the Tigger, those things. If I had to guess, and you can kind of give me your thoughts on this, the face characters like the princesses and things like that may come at a later date.
I agree with you. I do think that I believe it'll be our furry friends.
Yep.
We'll probably be able to accept hugs before our princess friends.
Right.
So that would be my guess as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always hope.
Yeah, we can hope. We can hope.
We can absolutely hope.
And I would imagine they'll release that information probably pretty soon because people want to plan for that. But if you think you're going to be hugging Tinkerbell on the 18th of April, you might not be, whereas you might be able to hug Stitch, which will be really, really cool. And even now I'm noticing that some of the character meets are not nearly as distant as they were. Magic Kingdom Stitch on stage at Tomorrowland, he's actually getting a lot closer to the edge of the stage.
Oh,
you can't touch him, but he's right there. We were at Artist Point 2 nights ago having dinner, and Snow White was there. Grumpy and Dopey and the Queen were there. Grumpy was coming to the table. He wasn't coming to the table. He was kind of in the
But he was
middle
like kind of coming close to the table.
But he came. But the way our table was situated, we were like right there by the door. So we were the first table he came to.
Okay.
There was a table sort of behind us. So he would come around our table, and he probably was within 2 to 3 feet of us.
Oh, okay.
Getting pictures with them, guys. The kind of social distance for that table, even though he was close to us. So they're not. I don't want to say the regulations are gone, but they're a lot more relaxed.
They're diminishing.
They're diminishing, exactly. My mother-in-law even got up to take a picture with Dopey as he was kind of standing back, and I was like, "Don't get too close." And a cast member did not even stop her. She didn't go up to him, but she stood up, backed up towards. She was probably 3 or 4 feet away from him. Okay. Cast member never budged. It wasn't like, "No, don't do that." It was fine. So I think the face characters probably will be coming back. And I've said this before. I think. And then we don't know when this is going to happen. You think fall. I also think fall. I think the dining plan is coming back around the corner because I think that Disney was probably waiting on character meet and greets to come back to do dining plan. So
I think that's a part of it.
Timeline in my head. April 18th, furry characters. You can hug Stitch. You can hug Pooh. You can hug Toad. Maybe by June, maybe early July, suddenly the princesses. You can stand next to the princesses, stand next to Tiana, get your picture of Sleeping Beauty or whatever. The tables will be adjusted, and suddenly the characters are coming to your tables now, and not so much, that middle large space. More people will go in. Now the dining plan might be worth it because there are more character meals. The character meals are really more worth it versus character experiences. Then Disney says, okay, now we have a dining plan. Now we're going to make some money. And because that's what's going to happen. And people will pay it because people are clamoring for the dining plan. I know many people who have told me they're not going to go back until the dining plan is there. So yes, I think I'm gonna predict October 1st. That's my date to predict it. And I think we will learn something about Tron in October. And I'm going to predict Tron will be open for Thanksgiving holidays, maybe November the 15th, the 17th or something for the Thanksgiving, the Christmas holidays. That's my prediction for that because I think now that Guardians is open, they can turn all their attention to Tron and get it going, which is not – well, Guardians isn't open yet, but now that it's opening. So –
yeah, I'll be interested to see. I don't know. I don't know if I have a prediction on the opening date for that because Christmas holidays, etc., is already busy down there. I can't imagine adding in an attraction opening.
Yeah, well, it's already busy, but I mean, didn't they do that a couple of years ago with another attraction or another opening around Christmas time? Am I making that up?
I can't think of one. I mean, there may be.
I feel like something big opened around I don't know if it's Frozen or something, maybe many years ago, but something big opened around November for the holidays. But maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
I'd have to think. It wasn't. Pandora was May, or no, maybe April. It was April or May, and Toy Story was more like around May.
June. Toy Story was June.
June. Okay, yeah, June, May, June. A lot of them have been around Memorial Day. I'm trying to think if there was anything recently. I don't remember when Frozen opened. To be fair, I do not remember when Frozen opened.
That's what I'm going to look at right now with my handy dandy computer that I have in my hand called my iPhone. And we're going to go to the Wikipedia because Wikipedia is always right. Or at least it's right with dates and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Frozen Ever After opened up in opened up. Oh, no, June. It was June. So was it June? Maybe I'm just making that up. I don't know, man. I feel like something can open in November, but maybe not. I don't know. One thing that did open recently, though, and I know you're excited, All Star Sports has reopened. And Jen, the good thing is that now every resort is open for business. I
am thrilled about that. I am thrilled to be able to say that.
Yes, I am thrilled about that as well. They did a sort of update to All Star Sports. So my theory on this, related to nothing, is that they were in the middle of music whenever the pandemic happens. So when they reopened music or when they went back to music, they had to continue doing what they were doing.
Absolutely.
My thought on sports was like, okay, they need to get it renovated. They need to do some updates. Let's just do the bare minimum because we don't have a lot of money. But we need to get it done. Jen, it looks terrible. Honestly,
I have heard.
I think it looks terrible. Like the pictures are just like they replaced the carpet. They did some trim work on it. It's a little gaudy, maybe. Like, and for me, I'm an All-Star Sports fan. I've stayed there many times, but I don't think it looks like there was some sort of kitsch nostalgia to it. The way it looked before, it was like the last All-Star to be renovated. It was the last one, so it had that old feel to it with the carpet with the circles on it, and which we can only hope were designed, not stains. And it had the I'm just kidding, the carpet was clean. Don't eat off of it though. They had the full size beds and the trim around the Mickey playing tennis around the top. It was great. It was awesome. Now they renovated it. I was expecting it to be something like the movies of the music with the hard floors, or even I think Mermaid has carpeted floors. So
I think Mermaid still has carpet.
But it still looks cool. It's got the update with the full size beds, and Not sports. I think they have queen beds, but it doesn't look cool. It doesn't. I expected more from Disney on that. Having said that, I will definitely put you there if that's where you want to go, because if your most important thing is saving money to go to Disney,
well, then there you go.
All Star Sports is where it is. That's where it's happening.
They might be putting their renos, the money into my baby, the Grand.
Oh yeah, that's true. The All Star Grand. That's fine. I was there just 2 days ago. I really was.
You were. You were.
Eggs and taking.
You sent me a picture. You sent me a picture
of the picture of the lobby, and I was like, I'm in the ghetto. But also of the pictures of the ears that cost $600 and $700 and $1,000. So, I have to ask you, Jen, do you own any of those ears? $1,000 ones, the $700 ears. The
I do not. Unfortunately, I do not
want those ears. Is that something you're thinking
about? Of course. I mean, I want them. I mean,
would you purchase those ears? I guess. Would you put the money towards purchasing?
Right now, I would probably put it towards something else.
House.
Yeah. I'm more likely to put them toward like a Dooney or something.
Right.
Well,
when you can save 3 figures by using your annual pass discount on something for ears, that means those ears are a little overpriced.
They're a lot.
Because, don't wear those in the parks, because my goodness, that's insane.
No, I would wear them in the parks. That's the thing.
Also, I don't get Coach. I'm not a chick. I've never been a chick, but I don't get Coach. I don't understand why it costs so much. It's the brand, obviously. A fanny pack with like $495.
Yeah, sounds
and
right.
they had a little wallet about this big, and it had like 5 cards with Walt Disney on the front. It was like $95 for that.
Sounds about right.
Like, no, I don't. And it's ugly. It's ugly. I mean, I know that now takes away Coach being a sponsor to this particular podcast.
Oh. Well,
I get Dooney and Burke. They're fun with the fun designs and everything. And did I tell you that Steph bought an orange bird Dooney? She did.
Yes, and I love that.
The small one, which is great.
That's a cute one.
She was looking at Peter Pan, but she got the orange bird. That's great.
Yeah.
But the Coach is that regular brown with the ugly trim. It's like, I don't know. It's just ugly to me. I don't know. Anyway, I don't get it. What is it about Coach? I mean, why are you a Coach fan?
No, I it's not that I dislike Coach. I think the Coach Disney stuff is cute. I prefer other brands of purses versus Coach. Like, Coach is fine, but I'm going to go something else.
There was a Coach sweatshirt that was there. $295 for the sweatshirt.
It's because it's the brand. You're paying for the brand.
And maybe I'm just cheap. Maybe I'm just frugal. I don't know. But I spend a lot of money on a lot of silly things. I'm wearing a hockey jersey that cost me $80. It's got Figment on it. It's actually long sleeves, so I can't even wear this really until December when it gets cold here, like 2 days out of the month. I put it on now just for fun, but like, I can't imagine spending $300 on a sweatshirt. I just can't. It's ugly.
Well, that's the thing. But Coach has some cute things. It just.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Like I said, I mean, if I'm going to spend that much money on a purse, I'm probably doing a different brand. But there's nothing. Yep. I do own a couple of Coach purses,
right.
So.
Right. Well, I just saw the design they came out with recently. It's not cool. Connections Cafe is going to be opening up very soon. We don't have a date on that yet, but I walked by it a couple of times. The Starbucks will be in there. It's in Epcot. It's going to be right across from the Creation Shop, a.k.a. the former Mouse Gears. Rest in peace. It's sitting right there, and it looks like it's going to be cool. They had hedges up, so you really couldn't see anything inside it, but it looks like it's going to be cool.
I bet it will be.
Service, so.
Well, I was going to say, because they needed to replace the electric umbrella.
Yes.
Which
I ate one time there. Not that I would not go there again. It's just I really only ate there once, because if I'm eating at Epcot, I'm in the world. I'm doing.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, electric umbrella was fine. It was just fine. So hopefully the Connections Cafe will provide another experience. We do like the land, though. We do like the Sunshine Seasons.
Yeah, I love Sunshine Seasons. I've mentioned that before. Also, and finally on this little list of coming attractions, Hoop-de-Doo is reopening.
Yes.
Very soon. Reservations will be available starting May 26th for showtimes beginning June 23rd. Thank you, Instagram. And so,
meanwhile, I was like, I say 26. I mashed the two together.
Right. So yeah, reservations will get on that at the end of May, right before Guardians opens. You said you've never been to Hoop.
I have not. That is one of the few dining experiences on property that I have never been to, although I have clients who absolutely love it, do it every single time. I've heard the fried chicken is to die for.
Yeah, it is. I did it maybe 15 years ago, pre-kid.
Okay.
Pre-kid time back in another world, another lifetime ago. We did it at Hollywood or at Hoop-de-Doo Revue, and it was really good. I mean, it was really good food. Entertainment was great, of course. Former and future guest Rob Lott was a guy on there, as was Cameron Can't remember his last name.
Cameron, Matthews.
Cameron Matthews. Yes, he did Hoop to Do as well, and so former and featured guest on the show here, he did Hoop to Do, and so it's a lot of fun. It's fun, and I honestly would recommend, Jen, that you trying it. I know maybe the food is not your thing. Maybe fried chicken is not.
Oh no, I love fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
Mashed potatoes and gravy and beer in a mason jar, but. Just something I think you would enjoy.
I'll skip the beer in the mason jar. I'll do the rest of it.
so it's good stuff. So all right. So out of all these things, Guardians, Hoops, Connections, the Hugs returning, and of course All-Star Sports. Jen, what are you most excited about? What's really most
Can I have a tie? Because like I feel like character, like the character hugs, like
what else?
No, the character hugs have to be up there. But I'm like super excited for Guardians. Like,
yeah.
I don't know that I can pick between the two.
I would go 1 and 2 on that. Character Hugs probably first, then Guardians second, only because we've been waiting on Guardians so long that even if we didn't have a return date, we know it's coming.
Exactly.
I think for me, in my opinion, I think the Character Hugs is the start of something that's going to build towards the end of the year. Something happening at Disney World is going to be much more. It can be awesome. Things are finally by 2023. I feel like everything's back. Everything's back, and we're good.
Thank goodness.
It was busy as crap this week. It was so flipping busy this week. There were people everywhere. I used Genie Plus. It was a success, then a failure, then a success, then a failure. We used it 5 times at Hollywood Studios on the first day.
Wow, that's good.
We used it once at Epcot. We used it like 3 times at Magic Kingdom the first day, like once at. So it is. You can get a lot of things done, but you have to be very picky and choosy about what you do, and you have to decide how you're going to want to use it because, if it's noon and the next thing you want is not available till like 4 o'clock or 4:30, and you're like, I don't want to wait that long. Then you know what? Oh, look, there's a Monster Sync Laugh for Lightning Lane. Let's just do that real quick and do it. I mean, really, kind of just knock out some.
That's kind of my strategy. And then like, okay, I'm going to wait for this regardless. So
exactly.
It's fine.
Exactly. So yeah, we're excited for Guardians, excited for Hoop to Do. And that's my trip report. And that's our
awesome.
Small coming attractions there. So Jen, where can people find you on the line?
Find me at Abonistar Jen. And then my personal Instagram is at Jen_Novotny.
Perfect. Find me at The Magic on a Dollar on Instagram. Find me at Magic on a Dollar and Disney on a Dollar on Facebook as well. And find, of course, the show, The MSE Podcast. That's the phrase that pays, and Pixie Dust Magic and Love.com is our website. At Gmail is our email address. And, of course, find us on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram and all the places. Subscribe to the show, listen to the show, and we would love you to give us a rating on all the places you can find stars. Wherever the stars are, find the most you can give and click that button because 5 stars is the most magical of numbers, of course. Of course. Next week, episode 100, we have some great fun things in the works. We hope you guys enjoy next week. I'm crossing my fingers that it works. We're still waiting to hear from one person on whether we can get it done or not. And so we're hoping that's going to happen that way. If not, we'll just push it off to 101 and do it then. But we'll come back and do some fun stuff. So thank you, everybody out there, for listening. As always, we love people listening to the show. And Jen, my wonderful co-host, thank you once again. The MSC Podcast. And don't forget to thank your Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.